What's up, Internet Troll to the
Mortal Kombat! Continue.
Hey! Now I can't. You fucking threw me all off.
I'm sorry. Test your might.
Hey, what's up there, Internet Troll to the Max Extreme here.
Ghost Hunter Dave.
Dinosaur Neil.
And together, we are IMPERIUS REX.
So Troy and Neil, this last week we were gifted with the cinematic opus. Something we didn't know we needed in our lives.
Yeah.
But we were given anyway. And that is the 2021 reboot of Mortal Kombat.
Of what?
Kombat. But before we get too far into it, I think we need to just take a look back at the franchise, at the previous movie, and within ourselves.
Sure.
As we harness our arcana, we test our might, and we explore the legacy of Mortal Kombat. In a special treat this episode, one of our viewers and friend of the show, Jason Auld, took it upon himself. We threw down a gauntlet here.
Yeah.
Because on his Instagram channel, he's been posting fight reenactments of various Marvel movies. He did some Falcon and Winter Soldier, did all this stuff. And I threw down the challenge. I was like, hey, how about some Mortal Kombat? And you know what? He jumped at the chance. He flipped.
Oh my god.
Double back.
Bicycle kicked into the...
He did. And he went and put together a nice little demo reel of some of his talents here, which I just want to throw this out right up top.
Good
because
deal.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at what Jason whipped up for us.
Flawless victory.
Wow.
Fatality.
Fatality.
Oh my god. That is incredible.
Friendship.
Yeah, that's definitely friendship right there.
So check out Jason's page,
Yeah.
all his social media. He is a professional unicyclist. And my wife...
Didn't know you could be that, but you
He
can.
Yep.
Yeah.
He can.
My wife, in her earlier days, always dreamed of being a unicyclist. And let me tell you, his appearance in our lives recently has only upped that desire. Every day I come home from work, I expect to see a new unicycle in our house, and I feel like it's coming.
Oh.
If it's not here by the time this episode premieres, something's wrong. Something's rotten in Outworld. So thanks, Jason.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Amazing. We'll see what we can cook up next for you. Another challenge.
That'd be great.
Pop quiz, Troy.
Yeah.
where were you when Mortal Kombat came out? 1995. Third grade, I presume?
Probably.
Me too. Changed my life. Loved it. We talked earlier about Aliens being a formative flick.
Yeah.
Or flicks with an X.
Yes.
Mortal Kombat, right up there with it. This was a big movie for young Ghost Hunter Dave.
I don't think, well, in the culture, I knew it existed, but I don't think it actually got into Mortal Kombat until Mortal Kombat Trilogy.
Ooh, my.
Or, I guess it would have been
Mortal Kombat Trilogy. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Get in on the ground floor.
I did, and then I subsequently went back and played the other ones. Weren't as good as that third one.
Were you first exposed to the movie or the games?
Games.
Okay.
Games, yeah. I would say also, my friend had the first Mortal Kombat on Game Gear.
Wow.
So I played that one actually.
9D batteries you put in
Yeah.
that thing.
Yeah.
Was
That
ripping
thing
hot.
needed a car battery to sustain itself. I understand. It's surprised it was portable at all.
Were you graced with the opportunity to see Mortal Kombat in the theater?
No.
No?
I don't think our parents would even have that be allowed at that time. Bit too violent for our young eyes, even though we watched RoboCop at home and Terminator 2. Didn't really matter at home.
There's a lot of yelling in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I just think it was of a minimal exposure.
Oh man, I remember seeing this in the theater, and can you imagine, like a 8-year-old young Ghost Hunter Dave in this big dark theater, big screen, and that opening theme kicks on with the flames shooting up around that dragon. My life has never gotten better in that moment. I peaked early.
You already can't sit still as an adult, so as a kid you had to have been like jumping up and down in your seat.
I remember we went to see it in like a big theater, the bigger theater.
Oh yeah.
And it was so loud that I had to like stick my popcorn butter fingers into my ears to even enjoy it. But boy did I.
Oh,
and that movie, saw it twice in a row.
Wow.
Not the same day, but then I took my cousins, who we subsequently dressed as the Three Ninjas for Halloween that same year.
Smart.
And it was just, it was a lifestyle choice at that age. Mortal Kombat. We were all living Mortal Kombat.
incredible.
You know what? I held dear that movie for a long time as like a fun, dumb action adventure. Recently went and rewatched it. It didn't quite hold up for me as my nostalgia thought it would. But even now, recently going back and seeing it and not liking it as much, I'm reverting back to how I remembered it as a kid. And I'm like,
better this
yeah,
way
it
for
was
everybody.
better.
Your brain's just like, fuck you, you love it.
Yeah. Because, like, the next one is abysmal, and I can't like it even on a dumb level. I think it's just real bad, which in comparison makes the first one shine.
Oh, infinitely better. Yeah, this was, I guess it was in the early days of video game adaptations where we didn't have a whole lot. I still hold Super Mario Brothers to a high regard because I'll carry a torch for that one. But Mortal Kombat, it was kind of like the high watermark for a while for video game adaptations. Might still be.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a whole lot better. But it was fun. Dumb fun.
Absolutely. I still love it. I think my nostalgia still holds up for it quite well. I tend to watch it with other people. I think
while drinking.
Exactly. If I watched it by myself, I'd probably turn it off.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
It's not a movie you watch by yourself.
The thing is with the first 1995 Mortal Kombat movie is that so much of that specific movie is stuck with people. The theme song carries on through every Mortal Kombat thing you've seen. The Shang Tsung actor is like the only person people want to play Shang Tsung.
That's true.
And other type of like instances like that where it's like, no, like that thing cemented Mortal Kombat for me and cannot change.
You mentioned that soundtrack. My word. First CD I ever bought. Mortal Kombat soundtrack.
They only had that one song on it.
40 different times.
Oh, man. Everyone in this is horny for Sonya.
Yes.
100%.
Shang Tsung especially. To the point where I got the feeling that he only created the Mortal Kombat tournament to get Sonya to wrestle in the sand. And point, it's like, why not just like create Mortal Kombat as a beach volleyball tournament? Because that's essentially all you're trying to get to in this.
Yeah.
Another thing that I never realized until recently, when we were watching it the other night, Liu Kang's brother is killed by Shang Tsung, but Mortal Kombat has not yet begun. So, what? Like, so he didn't die in Mortal Kombat. Did Shang Tsung just like come to the temple and like put a hit on him?
Just some random dude that
Yeah.
happened to be Liu Kang's brother.
Right.
Guess
So
so.
like, what was that?
I don't know.
And it wasn't like Mortal Kombat's held once a generation. It wasn't like he died last year in Mortal Kombat. We also love the reoccurring joke of Johnny Cage and all of his bags.
Oh,
And thought
so
the only
great.
way to make it better is if throughout that entire boat ride, every time he met up with Liu Kang, Liu just picked up another bag and dumped it off the boat or down like some stairs or whatever. Every time they cross paths, Liu's just tossing his luggage out.
So many bags.
Johnny Cage, great character though.
Oh,
I gotta love
God.
Johnny
Yeah,
Cage.
yeah.
Did you feel like Cage was missing in the newest version? Before
Yeah.
we get too far into the newest version.
Oh, could I just instantly say yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna
Okay.
say no.
Fuck you.
Okay.
I'm not gonna decide because I don't want to give either of you the upper hand.
Okay. I just want to touch on the Mortal Kombat Annihilation for a minute, because you said Shang Tsung was horny for Sonya Blade.
Mm-hmm.
There's a point in the Mortal Kombat Annihilation where everyone is just horny for Jade,
Yeah.
even Raiden.
Oh
Yeah.
He comes out with his like vest and new haircut. He's like, "Hey, who are you?"
Who's the legs?
Yeah,
I think
it's
he
like-
calls her.
Ugh. And then like she's trying to bang Liu Kang, and he's just like having infidelity feelings towards her, and like everyone is just hot for Jade for like a hot second, and like, what the fuck is this movie?
But to be fair, Nightwolf comes along in that one. He's like, Liu Kang, in order to get your animality, you can't be horny for Jade.
Yeah.
Can't
and then
fuck Jade.
Yeah, and then he's like, okay. And
Then I don't want it.
And then he turns into a shitty dragon, so I wish he was as horny for Jade.
Also, Shao Kahn has a dad in it,
Yep.
making him an instant bitch.
Oh.
And I guess the dad is Shinnok. I guess, but he just looks like a freaking guy
Just a
at medieval
dad.
times.
Yeah.
God. And somehow it costs more money to make that than the first one, and it looks exponentially worse.
I remember
Yeah.
when you reviewed this on your podcast,
Yeah.
Joel's reaction to that was, how did this cost money? And that is the line that stuck with me.
But like back in 90,
8 maybe?
Eight,
What, eight,
yeah.
7?
Yep.
this looked bad for them.
Oh, yeah. I remember, like, having changed my life around Mortal Kombat
Yeah.
when the first one came out. I was anxiously awaiting the follow-up. And then all of a sudden, like, I saw a commercial for the sequel after years of nothing. And I was like, holy shit, we're getting it! And then, like, it didn't go to any theaters around here. And then one day, it was at the video store. That local video store that didn't have aliens. And I was like, oh my god, it's here! And I got it and took it home, and I just, like, immediately, like, the wind went out of my sails watching this. I was like, oh boy.
Ripped it out of VCR, ripped the tape out of the VHS.
And then owed him, like, $300, because that's how much a tape cost back then. But yeah, what a step down.
Yeah.
And that, like, killed the franchise for a long time.
Yeah.
I was like a Batman and Robin level of disappointment.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes.
Now, I can't remember exactly when the games were, like, timeline-wise with the movie. Do you remember what game came out around the same time as this movie? Was it 4?
I think it was 3.
It would have been just prior to 4 and 3.
Like, bring in Nightwolf, bring in Jade, bring in the
Okay.
robots.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. Then, touching on with the games, like, I think the first game that we ever owned was 4.
It was.
I've played the other ones previous, but I'm like, we got a new console. This is the first one in 3D. Let's check it out. 4 sucks.
Oh, yeah. I remember loving it as a kid.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yep.
But like, that game is broken right off the bat because you can just sidestep everything
Oh,
forever.
yeah.
Because like, it's in 3D. It's a whole new dimension of gameplay.
And they had
Just-
weapons.
Yeah.
Weapons.
So you can just friggin' get whatever sledgehammer, keep walking backwards so you can dodge everything, come up and just smash them with it. It was like, end up being no fun, but it does have the best ending. Are you?
Yes, that's what I was gonna prompt
bring it
up. Oh my god! So they have. What's funny about this ending too is it's for 3 characters.
Yeah.
Jax, Sonya, and Jarek.
Yeah.
They all have the exact same ending that cuts off at a different point in time, and Jax's is the best because it all comes and it's got like the shittiest voice acting you've ever heard.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh no, Jax, you can't do this. You can't kill me. This is brutality.
You can't drop me. You have to uphold the law. You have to arrest me. Wait, this is brutality. You can't do it. Wrong, Jarek. This is not a brutality.
This is a fatality.
This is a fatality.
Drops him off the cliff. It's the stupidest, best thing in the world.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
And it only gets better if you watch them in order. Where
Yeah.
it's like the scene just keeps playing out.
But then the games eventually went to the PS2, and from there, I feel like they got
Convoluted.
convoluted, and it was before they went to NetherRealm Studios.
Yeah.
Because it was when it was with who was
Midway.
making them? Midway Games, yeah. People who made like NFL Blitz and shit.
Yeah.
And when they came out, they were like good for the time, at least for me anyway, because I'm not like a huge video game person. But I liked them, and then they just seemed to like almost get lazier, and the character models that they were introduced like weren't really that intriguing and kind of dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And then it all ended with like Mortal Kombat Armageddon, which was just like, yeah, we have everybody we've ever had ever.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get rid of fatalities though, because those aren't fun.
It was like a create your own fatality.
Yeah,
thing.
which was all
So
dumb, which you
stupid.
just like punch them, turn them around,
Rip their heart
kick
out.
them, turn them around again, slap them, turn them around twice, and then maybe be able to rip off your head if you didn't fuck up the 100 button combination
Yeah,
to do it.
it's super ridiculous. It wasn't until Mortal Kombat, the relaunch at 9, where the games were like, okay, we gotta reset this. and that was actually where it got awesome. And
Yeah.
sorry we're getting off track of the movies here, but like, as far as the games go, from there it was like, okay, we're taking what we have currently, so nothing is out of continuity, but we're sending Raiden back in time, and we're gonna make this play out differently. So it's like a whole new time stream, and it sets it all up weird and different. So you have 9, 10, and 11, which all have this, like, actually incredibly expansive, cool storyline going
Yes.
on currently. So
From then, I actually followed what I could of the story, and I think it's actually really engrossing and good.
yeah.
Which brings us to the newest movie, because they are taking the most out of these latest games, if they're taking from anything, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
At least in sincerity. Like, it's fun and goofy, but it's like got like a weird... This movie has like an earnestness to it that is not as campy as like the 90s movies.
No.
Yeah, I would say that.
They're
Yeah.
they are taking, like, they know their source material is the wackiest shit you've ever heard in your entire life. But they are, like, taking it to heart, and they're playing it as serious as you could, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and
Right from the opening
Yeah.
scene, where
Yeah.
it's like, I was a bit disappointed it didn't open with the Mortal Kombat yell and
Yeah.
the dragon fire, but
Yeah.
like, as soon as you see Scorpion and Sub-Zero and the family getting murdered there in the woods, you're like, okay, they're treating it a little bit more serious than we're used to.
Yeah.
And I thought it was the better for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not all of the movie is treated that seriously, but
No.
like, at the times when it should get a little goofy or a little more like fantastic, they go all in on it.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was happy they did, but then for the most part, like, they don't treat it as like, this stuff is dumb. You guys like this dumb shit, here's some dumb shit. You know, like, they
Yeah.
tried to tell, like, at least a decent enough story.
Yeah.
And you can tell, like, they're trying to build their universe.
Yeah.
Because, spoilers, they don't even fucking get to Mortal Kombat in
No.
this.
There's
no
no
It's all, like, a hit before the
Yeah.
tournament even starts. Which just, like, brings the point, what the fuck even is Mortal Kombat? Does it even matter if you can go and kill all the fucking fighters before the tournament even begins?
Right.
Shang Tsung's always making up fucking rules, and Raiden's like, you can't do that.
Can't
He's
do
like,
that,
doing
but
it anyway.
looks like you're doing it, so I can't interfere, but,
Yeah,
you know.
like who calls the shots and be like, no, this is a Mortal Kombat. That before?
That wasn't a
Mortal Kombat. But what will come later, when we say it would be, is a Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
But this wasn't when you killed everybody. That wasn't a Mortal Kombat.
No one said this has begun. So, you got me on a technicality. No Mortal Kombat has taken place.
None.
When the movie was done, I felt it was a bit of like a hindrance towards the movie for me. That it's just like, it's just setting up another movie. I like the groundwork they did there. I think like a few things did shine in it. Like Sub-Zero is amazing in this movie. I liked.
Is he ever?
Kano.
Oh my
Stole
god.
the show of
in
the
our
whole
hearts.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scorpion was cool. I wished he was in it a little bit more.
Yeah.
I was spoiling again,
Yeah.
as we do. The whole time I was thinking like, is what's the cage fighter's name?
Cole Young.
Cole Young. I was like, are they gonna like reincarnate him as Scorpion? Is he gonna be like the new Scorpion?
I thought that as well.
I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't love his character, but I thought he was okay as far as like your generic audience character. He was fine.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we got like the tried and true badass Scorpion by the end.
Yes.
And when he finally makes his appearance at the hour 45-minute
Yeah.
part of the movie, throws that spear, and then the Mortal Kombat theme kicks in. Whoo!
Oh my god.
Clear the room.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was really good.
If we can touch on the Mortal Kombat characters within this movie that they put in. So,
Interesting choices on who they picked.
yes, I will say that, and I think they chose some specifically to be disposable.
Yeah.
Now, the Cole Young, the main character you kind of follow, he's the only one they kind of made up for the thing.
He's the creative player.
Yeah, he's the creative player. He's your
Shujinko.
Shujinko. Yeah, he's your audience. He's your kind of audience gateway. And as far as the expansive, like, known Mortal Kombat characters, there's actually a pretty good selection out of them. And a lot of them I feel like there's Rico, who I think departure from what he was established as initially.
Yeah.
But I think he developed like that through the games a little bit more as this big Nathan Jones type guy. And then they had also the vampire.
We need a Nathan Jones type.
Yeah.
Why don't we get Nathan Jones? Perfect casting.
Nathan Jones! And then they have like the vampire lady, like Natara or
Yeah.
Natara or something like that. Those were instantly put in to be crushed by Jackson Kung Lao instantly.
Yeah.
So, and they are lesser characters, but you also have
Cabal.
Cabal.
It was cool seeing him. He's a great visual.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so...
I loved his accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yes.
love how he's just he's like Black Dragon prick, just like Kano is. I gotta say, on character design, they fucking nailed it. Like Kung Lao, Liu Kang, Sub-Zero, Scorpion, all of them. I think Reptile.
Oh.
I'm not a fan of Lizard Reptile.
Don't let my son hear that.
I understand.
I'm okay with it in the fact that, like, maybe he can evolve into more ninja-like Reptile, too. You know,
Okay, well,
not be
sucks
a
to be
reptile,
wrong.
too.
Agree to disagree. But I gotta say, for the most part, they nailed character design so good. Like, and
Even Liu Kang, who's generally not a favorite of mine, I really liked him in this.
Yeah.
Where he's kind of a boring character, but by not making him the focus, he could be that boring character, but have a couple really cool moments to shine.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
Him and Kung Lao were just like the tutors, basically.
Yeah, and that's
like, oh yeah, you're like the headmasters of the Mortal Kombat Academy.
Yeah.
And like, we don't need to follow you because you're not that interesting, but like, you're here to really be like, oh, these guys know their game, you know?
That's why I'm glad we didn't follow Liu Kang like you traditionally would in like the 95 version and so on. Like, I think just because he's not super interesting to be like, he's cool and stuff, but he's not like everyone's favorite character.
Yeah. And the games followed him for such a long time too.
Yeah, I think it's such a relief to see him from the outside, where it's like, oh, it's not like the pivotal thing, but I love how he's portrayed in this. And my God, is that actor ripped beyond belief. He took like Hugh Jackman levels of dehydration to get to the point where he was at.
So having said that about the focus, so it's not about Liu Kang. We don't have Johnny Cage. I would say Kano was kind of like the Johnny Cage role of this, as like the sarcastic asshole that's with their gang for most of it, that's like kind of giving Sonya a hard time through the whole thing. Like, you almost have to create a new character to just be like a likable character that isn't a prick or like boring. And on that level, I thought like this Cole Young guy wasn't too bad. And the fact that like they're kind of really expanding on Scorpion's role, and that his bloodline is actually like integral to the Mortal Kombat mythology. It's like, okay, I don't mind that. And even like his Arcana power, even though it was like, that's kind of dumb, I felt like if I saw this in the game, I wouldn't bat an eye at it, though. I'd be like, oh yeah, he's the guy that makes a shirt. But like, he wasn't annoying. He wasn't an idiot. I mean, like, he was perfectly serviceable.
He was serviceable. Like, I found, because some of the performances were so good, like, I really was drawn to Sub-Zero, whatever Scorpion was on screen. Kano, you couldn't look away from.
Yeah.
I felt like the other people just kind of were... almost wanted more out of them. Like, they were just kind of bland to me. And, like, it just... because the other ones were up here, everyone else just kind of fell, like, down there. So when they were on screen, if they weren't fighting, I'm just like... Especially the Cole Young guy, for me, I was just like, whatever, you fucking...
I will say the highs were very high, and everything else, and the lows were, I wouldn't say terrible or anything, but it's just like, meh. I mean, it could be more interesting, but...
And they were barreling through this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was surprised, like, how fast-paced it went. Like, we watched it the other night, and then this morning I watched select parts with my kids again. And I was like, oh, yeah, there's this part. We'll watch that. And I was like, oh, but then this part's coming up. It's like, actually, this is good. Like, there's a lot of really good parts. Like, once they got, like, into the fighting, like, it just went for a while.
Yes.
And, like, the fights in this were fantastic. Not so much in, like, the martial artistry, but in the ridiculous amounts of gore that they decided to go all in on.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, this is finally the Mortal Kombat movie that we should have gotten a long time ago.
It had that rumored NC-17 kind of, like, boundary rating, and I'm like, oh my God, I fucking get it. Holy shit, is it violent?
Yeah, I now that you say that, I do remember that, but what would they have in there that would have pushed it over that
It's
edge?
probably something Kano said. It had to have been.
That's a racial slur from Kano. I imagine Kung Lao's hat trick with the vampire lady and maybe Goro's death. Holy shit.
Just guts falling out.
Disemboweled, jab through the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about Goro getting taken down so quickly?
I was surprised.
Yeah.
But
it didn't bother me either. There's other weird big creatures that you can throw in.
In the 95 version, he got punched in the nuts and fell off a cliff.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
this was a better end.
But, I mean, you like... Goro was like the big bad. He's like second to the top in the first game, or second game.
I don't know.
So, like... You would think he'd be stuck around. You put a Kentaro in that role to get disemboweled. And then Goro's like, oh, you fucked up, man. That was my brother or something. That guy's a tiger, and I love him. I'm going to come in and punch you 4 times.
So, talking about how this is really just like a lead-up to the next movie, which would be the tournament itself, I have to say, like, yes, it was, but this was a really good lead-up. If the next one is going to be even bigger and better. Like, this was no slouch. Like, I was very happy with what we got in this. Especially that last fight between Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That was really good.
Like, I feel like it took all of the complaints that people probably voiced over the last movies, where it's like, oh, they don't do their fatalities, not enough people do their special moves, they don't look like they do. And they're just like, okay.
Yeah, we're
going to do it all. But it didn't feel like it was just tossed in ways that Mortal Kombat Annihilation did, where we're just let's throw everyone in, and now this person can do this for no reason.
Yeah.
It's like they explained enough in the fact that they all could, like, harness their chi or whatever, which is dumb, but it's like, but that's what they do, so don't question it anymore.
Yeah.
And then they could just do it, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. Then it can get really ridiculous, and that's why.
It also makes sense, too, because, like, you always think, like, okay, so these other people from these other worlds, they got like magic powers or whatever, can do whatever, but these Earth people can also do that? Like, how is that a thing? It's like, oh,
Well, they
no.
just can.
Yeah, they just can do it. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, they've got like they're like whittled down to like these expert fighters or whatever. They have some dragon birthmark. They can do whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Which
yeah,
is
that's fine. That's
It's
fine
like,
with me.
If people are questioning this, I want to be like, you're watching Mortal Kombat. Just fucking enjoy it. It's a movie where they punch each other. Be thankful that we got it.
Raiden's in this.
What do you think of Raiden? He still doesn't do much.
Raiden doesn't do much, but the lightning looks great.
Yeah, the lightning looked great. So the Raiden's kind of a hard one to kind of work around lore-wise because he is all powerful essentially, and even at one point Cole was like, so you can teleport anyone anywhere, right? And he's like, I sure can. And so they go fight each other, but my only question was, why not teleport Rico above a volcano and you've just beat him?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Unless somebody has to defeat him fist-to-fist combat.
They can't be teleported against their will. Maybe
There's
that's the
consent.
thing. Yeah. Do you want to be teleported? No. Well, I'm out.
All right. Have a good day. Sub-Zero had a lot of time to shine.
Yeah.
He's my favorite character, and I feel like the ice powers were just chef's kiss well done when
Yeah.
Jax tries to shoot him with a shotgun,
Oh,
and it just
my God.
freezes all the pellets.
Yeah.
And he's like, see ya, arms? Breaks them all off.
I did like how they kind of took a lot of the mythology and just kind of condensed it into what would work for this storyline, like
Yeah.
Jax losing his arms and all that. Like,
Yeah.
we don't have years to go into this. This has to happen in days.
Right.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose your arms to Sub-Zero, and you're
Right.
gonna get kicked off this cliff too.
Yeah.
Like before, it doesn't make any because Jax just has them.
Yeah.
Like it's you don't even need to put in this movie to explain it because before he's like, I just wanted them.
Yeah.
Now I got them.
Yeah.
Look at these.
Go to Outworld, get arms.
Get arms.
Ah, yes, Spirit World. Very good. You get the vest.
I gotta say, I wish Jax kept his little measly little robot arms.
Instead of little Boston
baby
Dynamic arms.
Yeah.
Talking about Sub-Zero though, like I've never liked Sub-Zero.
You're
because,
scum.
You know, he's the villain to my Scorpion, who's obviously the best. But my God, did they make Sub-Zero badass in this?
So good.
Slicing, freezing the blood, using it as a dagger.
Yeah.
When he was like raining down the ice storm in the real world there
Yeah.
as he was attacking Cole and his family. Just one thing after another where it's like, how have they not gotten Sub-Zero this right before?
Right.
Like, there's
I don't
so
know.
much you can do.
Yeah, he was like when he was around, like you could see people's breath even before you saw him.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, he's
Uh-oh.
here.
Yeah. And then
God.
Scorpion too, like they just nailed that fucking spear.
Oh.
Just hacking people up
Yeah.
with it, yanking them around, and then
Yeah.
when we got the full skull face too.
Yeah.
And it didn't occur to me until earlier today, but as Sub-Zero gets burned up by him at the end, he's looking awfully black and charred. A little maybe nod to a future Noob Sabbath.
Disappears into smoke too, kind of like a noob type thing.
Uh-huh.
I gotta say, one of the first moments where I went, oh my God, I'm gonna come with a K, was when Kung Lao gets introduced. And it's like Sub-Zero breaks into where their training grounds and starts fighting Liu Kang, and then his hat comes in, and then he teleports up through it, does a sweet flip kick. I'm like, oh my God, I love that
People are
so
just
much.
teleporting right and left.
It's just so good. Poor Kung Lao gets his soul ripped right out of him.
Oh, didn't
Somebody
even have
had
to
go.
fight him.
No.
Just Shang Tsung.
But he got that buzzsaw move in.
Oh,
Got a great
so good.
saw.
Just surfing on that thing through his.
I feel like everyone got their due.
Yep.
Yeah.
Except Rico. He sucked.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did.
get the
Everyone
fuck
else.
outta here.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's Mortal Kombat. That's all of Mortal Kombat. We covered it all.
Every
Yeah,
single
Guess
thing.
it wasn't that confusing after all. All right, real quick, Troy, who's your favorite Mortal Kombat character?
Scorpion.
Sub-Zero.
Scorpion.
Fuck.
How many toasties do you give this newest Mortal Kombat?
Ooh. I would give it maybe 3 toasties.
3 toasties.
What's the limit?
Great question. 3. Based on your answer, 3.
Duped again.
Perfect score.
Wow.
I'm gonna go ahead and give it 5. 5 out of 3. 5 out of 3. No, mean, this was not a good movie by, like, cinematic standards.
No.
But boy, did I have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
Beat the hell out of that Godzilla vs. Kong piece of shit that I watched a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I had a blast. My kids had a blast. Boy, were there a lot of F-bombs in there.
Yeah.
But it was a good time. I acknowledge it was dumb, and I enjoy it regardless.
Same. I'd give it like 4 out of 5 toasties out of it for enjoyment.
4 out of 5 out of 3 toasties. So that's Mortal Kombat in a nutshell. So, what are your thoughts about Mortal Kombat? Let us know down in the pit down below. That's a good one. And if you want to support the show, you can do that by heading over to our Patreon, and there at any tier level, you get a chance to join our Discord, which we could chat about Mortal Kombat all day long. Are you into lore? Like Dinosaur Neil here? Do you want to talk all about it? You can.
Lore galore?
Lore galore!
Chances
Yourself
are, no.
You won't.
Get yourself some nice patron perks like this awesome Imperius Rex bottle opener, stickers, all that
Activity
fun
pages.
Activity pages.
Things
What
to do.
have you? Any of that stuff that we reward to our friends of the show that help us keep the lights on here in the studio.
You bet. But until you see us again, I have been Troy to the Max Extreme.
Ghost Hunter Dave.
Dinosaur Neil.
And we have been Imperius Rex, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye!
He's doing it.